It's your cutest little kohai, Neka! And welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. It is still 6 in the morning. I still haven't slept yet, but I just wanted to record one more episode before I leave it off, because this is a very important episode. Because it's the day of the festival. Of all days, I expected this to be the one where I'd be walking to school with Sayori. But Sayori isn't answering her phone. I considered going to her house to wake her up, but decided that it's a little too much. Meanwhile, the preparations for the event should be nearly complete. The banner Yuri and I painted is dry, and I gently whirled it up to take with me. Oh my god, I'm so tired. She sent me a pleasant text reminding me not to forget anything, and I reassured her. Funnily enough, I probably feel the same way as Natsuki about the event. I'm more excited for it to be over so I can spend time with Sayori and Yuri at the festival. But knowing Monica, I'm sure the event will go great too. Neka! You're the first one here. Thanks for being early. That's funny, I thought at least Sayori would be here by now. Monica is placing little booklets on each of the desks in the classroom. They must be the ones she prepared that have all the poems we're performing. In the end, I found a random poem online that I thought Monica would like and submitted it. So that's the one I'll be performing. I'm surprised you didn't bring Sayori with you. Yeah, she overslept again, that dummy. You'd think that on days this important, she'd try a little harder. I say that, but I suddenly remember what Sayori told me yesterday. And I suddenly feel awful, knowing it's not nearly that simple for her. I only said it because it's the way I'm used to talking, but maybe I should have gone to wake her up after all. You should take a little responsibility for her, Neka. I mean, especially after your exchange with her yesterday. You kind of left her hanging this morning, you know? Exchange? Monica, you know what about that? Of course I do. I'm the club president after all. But I stammer embarrassed. Did Sayori really tell her about it that quickly? About how I basically turned down her confession? That makes me really seem like the bad guy here. But I'm the one who knows what's best for her, right? Jeez. You don't know the full story at all, so... Don't worry, I probably know a lot more than you think. Eh? Monica is being as friendly as usual, but for some reason I felt a chill down my spine after hearing that. Hey, do you want to check out the pamphlets? They came out really nice. Yeah, sure. I grabbed one of the pamphlets laid out on the desk. Oh yeah, they really did. Something like this will really help people take the club more seriously. Yeah, I thought so too. I flipped through the pages. Each member's poem is neatly printed on its own page, giving it an almost professional feel. I recognized Natsuki's and Yuri's poems from the ones they performed during our practice. What's this? I flipped to Sayori's poem. It's different from the one she practiced. It's one that I haven't read before. Get out of my head. 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 Get out of my head before I know what is best for you. Get out of my head before I listen to everything she said to me. Get out of my head before I show you how much I love you. Get out of my head before I finish writing this poem. But a poem is never actually finished. It just stops moving. What is this? Reading the poem, I get a pit in my stomach. Neka? What's wrong? Nothing. The poem feels completely different from everything else Sayori's written. But more than that, I changed my mind. I'm going to get Sayori, so... well, alright. Try not to take too long, okay? I quickly leave the classroom. Don't strain yourself. Neka calls that out after me. I quicken my pace. What was I thinking? I should have tried a little bit harder for Sayori. It's not a big deal to at least wait for her or help her wake up. Even the simple gesture of walking her to school makes her really happy. Besides, I told her yesterday that things will be the same as they always have been. It's all she needs, and what I want to give her. I reach Sayori's house and knock on the door. I don't expect an answer since she's not picking up her phone either. Like yesterday, I open the door and let myself in. Sayori? She really is a heavy sleeper. I swallow. I can't believe I ended up doing this, after all. Waking her up in her own house. Isn't that more like something a boyfriend would do? In any case, it just feels right. Outside Sayori's room, I knock on her door. Sayori? Wake up, dummy! There's no response. I really didn't want to have to enter her room like this. Isn't it kind of a breach of privacy? But she really leaves me no choice. I gently open the door. Still. It's as creepy as ever. What the hell? What the hell? Is this a nightmare? It has to be. This isn't real. There's no way this can be real. Sayori wouldn't do this. Everything was normal up until a few days ago. That's why I can't believe what my eyes are showing me. I suppressed the urge to vomit. Just yesterday, I told Sayori I would be there for her. I told her I know what's best for her, and I told her everything was gonna be okay. Then why? Why would she do this? How could I be so helpless? What did I do wrong? Turning down her confession. That has to have been what pushed her over the edge. Her agonized scream still echoes in my ears. Why did I do that to her when she needed me the most? Why was I so selfish? This is my fault. My swarming thoughts keep telling me everything I could have done to prevent this. If I just spent more time with her, walked her to school, and gave her what I knew she wanted out of our relationship, then I could have prevented this. I know I could have prevented this. Screw the literature club, screw the festival. I just lost my best friend. Someone I grew up with. She's gone forever now. Nothing I do can bring her back. This isn't some game where I can reset and try something different. I had only one chance, and I wasn't careful enough. And now I'll carry this guilt with me until I die. Nothing in my life is worth more than hers. But I still couldn't do what she needed from me. And now, I can never take it back. Never, 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 never. By the way, this game isn't suitable for children. And welcome to Act 2. This is where the real game begins. Let's start a new game, I guess? Perfect. I see an ignoring girl running toward me from a distance, waving her arms in the air, like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let catch up to me. Oh, it's so good! It's an ordinary school day like any other. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. I guess. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that. But I have no motivation to join in clubs. No, am I safe? Whatever. I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average, while spending my free time on games and anime. There's always the anime club, but it's not like there would be any girls in it anyway. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them would probably be way too demanding for me to want to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Neka? Monica? Oh my goodness. I totally didn't expect to see you here. Yeah, I didn't expect you to do that, little grid teleportation that you did. It's been a while, right? Yeah, it has. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked. But we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little creepy. What did you come in here for anyway? Oh, I've just been looking for some supplies to use for my club. I need to do her voice. Belle? Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Oh my god, I'm scared. Like, the audio turned off. Like, okay. I don't think the game's ever done this before. That actually freaked me out. For markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? How about that? I actually quit the debate club. Really, you quit? Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like I'm just waiting for something to happen. This never happened to me in the original game, like for the... Did I hear something? Feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. A literature club. I remember that one. Oh man. Okay, this is probably what they added, like in the plus. There's probably gonna be like new scares. Like, this is probably the part where new things are happening. Like, new things are already happening. Literature? That sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far? It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring. Well, I can see that. But it's really not boring at all, you know? Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps her manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right? Did Monica say she? Hey, Neka. By any chance, are you still looking for a club to join? I mean, I guess so, but... In that case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it would make me really happy. Please? Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monica? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Oh, awesome! You're really sweet, Neka, you know that? It's nothing, really. Shall we go then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. Where's the music? And thus today marks the day I sold my soul to Monica and her irresistible smile. Oh boy. I dejectedly follow Monica across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Monica, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. There's the music, Jesus Christ. I'm back! I brought a guest with me. A guest?
Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere.
Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Neka. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly creepy girls.
So let me guess. You're Monica's boyfriend, right?
What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude whose name is apparently Natsuki is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the vice president. Alright. It's nice to meet you. I love to get with this vice president. Yuri, who appears comparatively more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Something happening right now? Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So I ran into Neka in a classroom, and they decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great?
Wait, Monica! Didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know.
Sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Neka? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens a closet. Meanwhile, Monica and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I sit next to Monica. So, I know you didn't really plan on coming here. But we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised that there aren't more people in this club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki?
Well, I guess.
Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a cup of tea in front of each of us before setting down a teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom? Don't worry, the teachers give us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book?
I guess.
Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know.
I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea.
I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, Neka, what kind of things do you like to read?
Well,
considering how little I've read in the past few years, I really have a good idea of answering that.
manga.
I murmured quietly to myself, joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. I'm gonna try to read some of this fast, because a lot of this is just repeat from, the first act. And also, I need to get to bed. But I'm gonna finish this episode. Looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking, after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. Telling a good story in such a foreign language, in such a foreign world, is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Wink wink. Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. You don't say! I read a horror book once. It doesn't really grasp something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think, or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful in changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment.
Ugh, I hate horror.
Oh, why's that?
Well, I just...
Natsuki's eyes start over to me for a split second.
Never mind.
That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki?
What? What gives you that idea?
There's a piece of scrap paper behind the last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called...
Don't say it out loud! I give that back!
Fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems?
Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care?
I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime?
No!
Natsuki averts her eyes.
You don't like them.
Not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing and open to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example for Natsuki. Feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess that's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea! How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way everyone is even. I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monica. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take the responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, Now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Neka?
Hold on, there's still one problem.
Oh, what's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I boldly come forth and stay what's on my mind the entire time.
I never said that I would join this club. Monica may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes.
But, I'm sorry, I thought...
Huh. Eh?
The girls exchange glances before Monica turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Neka. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form the official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one more before the festival...
I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. And besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls... Alright, okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up.
Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Neka?
Yeah. It could be fun, right?
You really did scare me there for a moment.
I mean, if you really just left after all this, I'd be super pissed.
Neka, I'm happy. I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay?
Thanks, I guess.
Okay, everyone. I think with that we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone, remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share.
Monica looks over at me once more.
Neka, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself.
Yeah.
Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait.
Bye.
With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the 3 girls, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. You have unlocked a special poem. Sure, I'll read it. Joke. A man walked into a club. In the club, there was a girl who liked him very much. They spent some time together, and then she liked him even more. One day, the girl realized she was in love with him. Before disaster could happen, a third party intervened with their programming. Suddenly, the girl hated herself for being in love. This contradiction caused the script to derail. The universe started to collapse, but she killed herself just in time. Funny joke! Alright, I mean, that's like literally what's happening, right? Nice poem. Alright, now it'll be easier because I don't have Sayori to deal with. I think all the sad stuff is going to go straight to Yuri. Damn it! I thought because Yuri's beautiful! Oof! I forgot about that, holy sh... That That one got me. Oh my god. Hi, Monica! Hello again. Hello again, Neka. Glad to see you didn't run away from us. You know what? I had the inkling too. But oh no. The classroom is slowly zooming in. That's so unsettling. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least... It's so distracting, and the music! This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Neka. This game is fucking... It gets me. Even though we played this before, like... It just gets you, man. It just gets you off guard. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it? It's so good! It's such a good game! Oh, come on! Like, he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. The room... I didn't know if you planned to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Monica, could you move a little bit? Natsuki, something something, have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in her room. Natsuki finds herself struggling between Monica and manga. Manga is literature! Slowly defeated, Natsuki plops back in her seat. I'm sorry, Neka. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club after all, perhaps you might have the interest in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now. So it only feels right for me to do something that... Like, that if you ask. The background is so distracting, holy shit. Oh wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, that's not it, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something that you might like. Can you please, like, stop it with the Dutch angle? Harry reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so I should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. Oh my god, I can't focus because of the background. I still feel like it's moving. Okay, I don't think it's moving anymore, like, but it's still like so lopsided, it's just distracting. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. Why don't we discuss how the school is falling over? This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked up a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you, I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club.
that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in the book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is roaming around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like it's the same book she lent me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Oh. Crap. I think she knows me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and her eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in the book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I'm out of this sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book they gave me, right? Mm-hmm. What the Oh my god! Something's fishy's going on here. Oh yeah, that's just silly. I wanted to reread some of it. What happened? Not for any particular reason. Just curious how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Oh my god. I'm not even reading the names anymore. I'm just so distracted. Well, when I stopped by the bookstore yesterday, it's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me. But I decide to let it go. Will you tell me about the eye thing? Like, I feel like that's a concern. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging, relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about, anyway? Well, look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Oh, that's what the eye was about. Basically, it's about a religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. This is different from the first time. The people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively I could have sworn that something happened to her face. Did I imagine that? And they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. That's hot. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs. What kind of dark? Isn't it? That's kind of dark, isn't it? You already made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so the dark turn came from nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Neka? I kinda am. I'm kind of a fan of the macabre. No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kind of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. For your sake, dude, I really hope so. 'Cause you're in one. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. Then suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. You're also changing font types. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body gets incredibly what? I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. Hang on, what was the thing about your body? Damn it. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much.
I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. And it's a literature club after all.
That's true.
In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right?
Yes. How is this game still getting me? I mean, you don't have to, but... What are you saying?
Let me just get to the book.
Quickly retrieve the book and put it into my bag.
Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? Except seat next to Yuri?
Yeah.
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive.
I'm sorry. It's not... I don't want you to. It's just something that I'm never used to. It is reading in common with you, someone.
I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything.
Alright.
Open the book and start the prologue. I still don't understand what Yuri means about reading in company. Just if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. Looks like she's reading from my book instead.
Sorry, I was just bathing in the feeling of your...
Ooh. Wanna run that by me one more time?
Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I mean, I really don't mean to. Sorry, I mean...
Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's and hold my book more between the two of them.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here.
She's still so beautiful. Her ear looks a little weird though, but I don't like ears, even animated ears. They just look so weird to me. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. Do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn the page to your side, the thumb flips over to the other side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting. It's as if you can feel warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page? Sorry. I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over Yuri's face and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do.
Oh, look at her smile.
Since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah, thanks.
We continue reading.
Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page for me, so I turn it on my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side.
as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. I love his expression. No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things. She says, and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? But never mind. We didn't even get that far yet, so I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Huh? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that all about? Neka, did something happen just now? Eh? I have no idea. Yuri's acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything. Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Huh? Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start sharing our poems with each other? Eh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. Make a mental note of where I left out in the book and slip it into my bag. Alright, since I can't show it to Yuri first, I guess I'll show it to Monica first. I should start with Monica. Yesterday she seemed very eager to read my poem, and I want her to know I'm putting in effort. Hi Neka! Having a good time so far? Ah, yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new here and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid of Monica to bring anything up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Haha! Don't worry, Neka. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Neka! I was going all in my head the entire time reading it. It's very metaphorical. Not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism? Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction. So don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier. I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright, thanks, Monica. I suppose I should get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good.
You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good.
Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know?
I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in a wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings. But my buried eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in the room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears? The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen.
So what do you think?
It's very free-form, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback.
It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful.
What was the inspiration behind this one?
Well, I'm not sure how I can put it. I guess you could say I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a lot.
An epiphany?
Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that, because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on one specific point. If you try hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening.
Alright, now I can finally share it to my girl Yuri.
Hey babe.
What's up? As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional.
What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri first covers her mouth and then ends up covering her whole face.
He's going to hate me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
Huh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates that you have written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Well, that's a huge compliment coming for you. I kind of have been writing a lot of poetry. You know, I wrote at least 3. This is actually my first time, really. Nah, you've written some before.
Huh?
Harry stares at me blankly, and looks at my poem again.
Well, I knew that. I just meant,
Harry trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking down more thoroughly.
Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical for new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they fit the two together. The end result is that both... I swear I keep seeing things move. I think it's just because I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed pretty shortly. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something that you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased though.
Biased? How?
Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry.
It's fine.
I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself or to me or Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do! I'd love to share my thoughts process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be the literature club? Ghost in the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. I keep thinking her face is like distorted for some reason. I'm sorry, I have just terrible handwriting.
What? I wasn't thinking that at all.
It took a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often.
I actually think your handwriting is pretty.
Huh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem.
Even though it's short, it was really descriptive.
It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems.
Not at all.
I'm really glad you liked it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easily to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Neka.
Really?
I must have missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember the poets express themselves often, their own thoughts. Express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their own work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolic compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. It's impressive.
It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so...
Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You will. I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Neka.
Me too.
It's just Natsuki.
Excuse me? Neka, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home.
What? Harsh.
What, do you expect me to believe you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid?
I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put effort. We all start summer, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, I'd like to read it.
Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry.
You'll get better anyway. I tell you how to improve, but you're just better off figuring out yourself.
Whatever. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess.
Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you would probably think it's stupid.
Eels can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eels can fly, people can try, but that's about it.
Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it.
I like it.
What? Just be honest.
I am. Are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it?
Well, because
everyone in high school thinks that writing should be all so sophisticated and stuff. I bit my lip.
So people don't even take my writing seriously.
But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you doing great things can really be disheartening. So I decided to write about it.
Yeah, I understand.
But the other nice thing is about how simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line.
So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized.
That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you?
Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with the last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is. But if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. I was a little bit... That really was more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone was judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I end up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each as their expression change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly.
What is this language?
Did you say something?
Oh, it's nothing.
Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand.
I guess you could say it's fancy.
Ah, thanks. Yours is cute.
Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute?
I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice.
Eh? You mean you had to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it didn't really come out nice at all.
Well, I do have a couple of suggestions.
Huh. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monica liked it, and Neka did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all...
Excuse me? I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a lot of time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something that is particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Neka liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up.
Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Eh? That's not what I... Oh. You're just...
Yuri stands up as well.
Maybe you're just jealous and Neka appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours.
Huh. And how do you know you didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself?
No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to do everything overly cutesy.
Well, you know what? I was the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Neka started showing up.
Natsuki! Natsuki, that's a little...
This doesn't involve you.
The fuck? Taking out your own insecurities on others like that? You really are acting as young as you look, Natsuki.
Me? You look who's talking. You wanna be edgy, bitch?
Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone your mental age to comprehend.
See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn that to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know.
If you want to... Oh my god. If you want to prove anything... This hurts my ears. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance a toxic personality to dressing up and acting cute? There's only one cute thing about you, and that's how hard you try.
Well, be careful. You might cut yourself on the edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you?
Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head?
Yeah, go on. Let Neka hear everything. Let Neka hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this.
Suddenly Yuri turns towards me as if she just noticed I was standing there. Neka, she's just trying to make me look bad.
That's not true. She started it.
I didn't have to... Yuri. Yuri? Excuse me, Yuri. 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 Stop it. Yuri. Get out of here, Monica. I want Yuri. Yuri. Come on. Hey, Neka. Why don't we step outside for a little bit, okay? Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. She quickly runs away. Oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Yuri is rocking back and forth in her desk, with her palms in her forehead. Yuri? I didn't mean it! I believe you! I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki, or did. Neka, please don't hate me. Please. I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. Completely. Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monica. You go first, Monica. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president, so Please let me take that responsibility today. Kind of sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not that. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Neka. It would just be embarrassing with you listening. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? I'm sorry for causing trouble. But... Okay! I guess I'll just end it here for today. Like, there hasn't been too much new, but I have noticed, like, some slight differences. What the fuck? Okay, hang on. This is brand new. Log in. Okay. What is going on? Oh my god. You guys can see what time it is. Okay. This is like all the... Huh. The poems. Wow. Different backgrounds? Oh my god, concept art? What is this? Oh, that looks so cute! Oh, fucking love Yuri. Man, I've never seen this artwork before. How'd I not? Music player? Oh yeah, it said that it had this. Just side stories. Side stories are stories of friendship that are unrelated to the events of the main game. To get all 6 stories, try writing poems for different characters and viewing their special scenes in DLC. Wow! Files. This is just the game's files? It's so weird. Mail? Why do I get... There's a lot to unpack here. Oh my god. So Doki Doki is just like the game, right? Loading. Turn to desktop. Wow, this is so weird. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I really need to get some sleep. But thank you so much for watching. I will return to this at a later date. I'm not sure when that will be, but hopefully it's not, the videos aren't spaced too far apart. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you're enjoying this. I'm really having a good time, and I will play this to the end. And also let me know, like, if you want me to play any other games. Also like the video, it really helps me out, like, to grow and get recognition. And also subscribe, please! And follow me on Instagram, it's Neka_Kohai. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, have a good day! Bye bye!